Yo, what's up, guys? So I got some video game footage for you guys to look at, but please do not click off the video. Don't click off the video. I'm gonna talk about a lot in this video. So this video is long as hell, but I didn't want to show my face, so I got video game footage for you guys to look at while you just hear me talk about this. Thank you for clicking on the video, and let's get straight into it. Now, you probably have heard of the term industry plant. I'm not really sure because from my input, the term industry plant is not that popular as I think it should be, especially with now people being more aware of what's going on in Hollywood. We have public speakers like Soleimani who uses the term industry plant a lot. Soleimani is a prime example of somebody who uses his platform to talk about real shit that's going on in the world. In this video, I'm going to talk about what an industry plant is, and I'm going to give a couple examples of industry plants so you can understand exactly what I mean when people say, oh, this person just came out of nowhere to push in a specific agenda. Anyway, an industry plant. I'm going to flash the definition on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But an industry plant, basically somebody who came out of nowhere with no set of talent, no set of skills, but they have a specific, what I should say, profile to them, and they push a specific agenda on a specific group of people. A couple months ago, I made a video on this. I consider and I call celebrities Babylonian gods. They're not literally Babylonian gods from Babylon times like Baal and Moloch, but these people are powerful with the material, with the influence, with the spiritual, especially. A lot of celebrities talk about spiritualism. A lot of celebrities pass down witchcraft. They do crazy shit behind closed doors to get their money and to get their fame, but they pass down specific energy and knowledge and make it seem like, oh, you should try this. People worship them. There's so much. It's confusing because a lot of people worship celebrities because they feel like they have nothing else to worship. You know, a lot of celebrities come off quote unquote perfect and beautiful, so people want to worship them. A lot of celebrities try new things and tell their fans to go do it. Anyway, that's a whole nother separate video. I need to get into that. But to specifically stay on topic with this video, I'm going to give you a couple examples right off the bat. Now that we are in 2025 and COVID has happened 5 years ago and we're in the 2020s, a whole new decade, a whole new life. 4 amazing prime good examples of what an industry plant is Lil Nas X, 6ix9ine, Sexy Red, and Ice Spice. Now, I'm pretty sure you could look at all 4 of them and tell what is something common that they all do besides people of color. Now, the crazy thing about industry plants is that they always seem and tend to target black people or ethnic people, but I don't need to get into that. That's a whole nother separate thing. All 4 of these people have in common is that they have no talent, but they find a way to grab your attention when you're looking at them on the big screen or on your phone or on your laptop or your tablet. An industry plant is somebody who comes literally out of nowhere. Now, they could have worked in the scene. They could have worked in this industry for years, for months. Like Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X was working on music back in 2018. And in 2019, he dropped a lot of huge hit banger songs. Old Town Road, Rodeo, Panini, his EP and that he dropped in May or June 2019. Those, I ain't gonna lie, had a lot of bangers, you know what I'm saying? It was a lit era. That was 2019. See, Lil Nas X had a different profile behind him. That's the best way I could describe it. He had a different profile where he reached the black community and he reached kids. And he wasn't bad, but it's when COVID had hit, he completely flipped. I remember he announced that he was gay when my grandmother had passed away, like September, October 2019, the funeral around that time for me. And then the news was talking about it. Then his whole style changed. Then he changed while the world was changing. And then by 2021, he started working on the devil. Then he just started purposely doing things to grab kids' attentions, to grab adults' attention, to grab religious groups' attention. So he purposely started doing things that will grab people and be like, what the hell is wrong with him? Giving him attention. It doesn't matter how he gets the attention. As long as he gets the attention and he has your attention, he did his job. Like I said earlier, the 4 examples, Lil Nas X, just talked about him. 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is already controversial within himself because he snitched. And a lot of people look at you. If you snitched, you already know how the hood works. You already know how rules besides the government works. You know what I'm talking about from the movies that we watch. If you snitch, you gotta go. He has rainbow colored hair. He was loud. He was a complete distraction. His lyrics is shit. Now, his beats are goated, but his lyrics are horrible. He doesn't do anything but just yell. And then all he does is grab your attention. So when he's on screen, all you can do is just watch and laugh. It doesn't matter how he got the attention. You just want to see him. You're just laughing at him. You don't take him serious. 6ix9ine was here since 2017. Of course. But even then, I feel like he just popped out of nowhere in 2017 because I haven't heard of him before 2017. So he's been here before, but he had a new purpose. I'm going to put quotations on that again. A new industry purpose, which was a distraction by 2020 when COVID had hit. Sexy Red. Now, Sexy Red, I ain't gonna lie, I checked out her YouTube last year, and this was like in 2024 when I did this. I don't know if her videos are still up because I'm not gonna go check now, and I don't really care about her. But last year in 2024, I remember checking out her YouTube. She was dropping horrible trash music since like 2018. Now, in 2018, there was a couple trolling eras where people were trolling. 2017, 2019, they were trolling, dropping trash music on purpose. They were just trolling. You weren't taking them serious. So that's who she was. She was doing like underground shows. She was just trolling, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, she was younger, 2023, 2024, she come out of nowhere. Clout, money, doing collaborations with industry artists, pushing a crazy agenda on women, making black women look like they ain't shit, making black women look objective, sexualized, toys, ratchet, dirty. I'm not going to say ghetto because the term ghetto means something else. Ghetto means poor. But they want to give that category to our women, to us. Anyway, very ratchet, very unprofessional, very silly, stupid. You can't take them serious. So she stamped the industry plant term crazy last year and the year before. Listen to her lyrics, how she dressed, the things she said. She was getting so much limelight, so much celebrity collaborations. She was doing a lot. She was everywhere. So she took the angle on how the industry wants black women to look very, very hard, specific. She was doing so much for that year. 2025, I haven't really seen her that much. Don't forget the poses that she was doing on Instagram. I hope y'all ain't forget what Sexy Red was doing. Yo, it was too much, just like with Lil Nas X, but just as a female. And of course, people of color. They just love to tarnish the black. They just love tarnishing us, man. Like our history is just getting reworked every week. Like I know you could have fun. I'm not saying you can't have fun. You could play around, have fun, live your life, be silly. Yeah. Sometimes I want to be immature and stupid. I mean, I'm 19, but there are certain things you just shouldn't do. Like the era from like November 2022 throughout the first half of 2023 with Sexy Red was fucking disgusting. Her and Sukihana. And I hope y'all didn't forget, Sukihana and even Solemnati on his Spiritual Soul channel reacted to it. But in 2019 on Instagram, Sukihana made a video bawling her eyes out, saying that she sold her soul to Satan. She sold her soul to the devil and can't get it back. And listen to this. She says that she sold her soul. Then I never heard of her ever since that year, 2019. She comes back in 2023 with Sexy Red doing some crazy shit. And Ellie Chopper, it was weird. 2023 was crazy because, not to name other rappers and stuff, but Uzi came back with Pink Tape and all that, but that's besides the point. That's besides. Music in 2023 was horrible. That shit was terrible. But Sexy Red was crazy because her music is so bad, lyrically bad, offbeat. Her lyrics, everything was just horrible. And she just had this ratchet aesthetic. Ratchet. Like, they were just working as a tag team, defaming women's names. They were just saying certain things. Like, listen to their lyrics. Their lyrics were horrible, but if you listen to what they were saying, they were being disgusting. Now, you could be sexual and have fun and love your man. There's love in sexual songs. Hell yeah, there's music that you make love to. There's music romance. But what she was saying was ratchet. It's different from trap music that you play in a strip club, like in the 2010s and 2000s. That's different. This was just disgusting, though. I can't even put like I can't even explain it because we're also in 2025. So, and I don't listen to her, so I don't really remember it. I can't explain how weird that shit was because that was 2 years ago. If you get what I'm saying. Like, the only compliment I could give her is You My Everything beat. The You My Everything instrumental is one of the best instrumentals I heard since COVID. You My Everything? It's because of that Jamie Foxx sample is why that song is beautiful. That beat switch was horrible, though. Get that beat switch out of here. That BBL Drizzy shit is trash, but the beat is beautiful. That's it, man. Last but not least of the 4 easy examples that I gave you earlier, Ice Spice. Now, when I first heard of Ice Spice, when I think 99% of everybody heard of Ice Spice, was in November, December 2022. 2022 wasn't really a good year for me. I ain't gonna lie, it was a horrible year. It was my worst year. You know, I had moments when I was low. And anyway, I don't need to get into myself. But I wasn't my best me. I was my worst me. Anyway, Ice Spice popped up out of nowhere, November, December 2022, and she was getting her clout. She was getting her clout up pretty fast. But she wasn't lyrically tough. She was terrible. She was horrible. But she was thick. She was cute. She looked different. Light skinned. She was sexy. She had all the boys. All the boys was all over Ice Spice, you know? That was like their top girlfriend. She's from New York. So she was kind of in the middle of where black communities are. So she's from the Bronx, New York. Now, if you hear an industry plant say that they're from Bronx, New York, they're going to make it seem like, oh, you just one of those black kids that just came up. And then the angle looks like, oh, this is just how typically all black women look. And then just so on and so forth. So she came up out of nowhere. Horrible lyrics. Terrible lyrics. Terribly on flow. Beats was even shit. I ain't gonna lie. The beats was even terrible too. She was just another, like with Sexy Red. She was just another output that young teenage girls ain't shit. Young teenage girls look up to this woman. Young teenage girls is just gonna grow up immediately ratchet, twerking, shaking ass before they go, just stupid, just immature college kids, you know? So, to be honest, out of all these 4 industry plants that I named, Ice Spice isn't really that bad. Like, she's like 3rd on the list. 6ix9ine is like, I put 6ix9ine at number 4, and it's between Lil Nas X and Sexy Red on who's the worst industry plant of all time. It got to be Lil Nas X, because he was targeting kids. Like, he was damn near like an A minor lover. Like, he did everything that would grab a kid's attention. I mean, they even put him in Roblox at one point. Like, he had kids' attention before he was weird, and then he just turned weird and was still trying to grab kids while targeting religious groups, while pushing satanic agendas. I mean, it was so sick. In 2021, the dude dropped Satan shoes with 666 and the blood, he put real blood in it, and then he had Luke Bible verse in it. The Bible verse that he had in it was referencing how demons were on earth. Yo, he was purposely doing stuff to target religious groups. That's why I say he is the worst. Like, let me calm down. Obviously, when we all heard about Ice Spice, it was in November through December of 2022. But when I went to go check her TikTok, obviously, because TikTok, there's always something with TikTok. TikTok was the platform which helped push her, obviously, to make her become this trend at the time. When I was checking her TikTok, I saw that she went to a lot of underground shows. And that was at the time. I just remember it right now. But when I was first getting into Ice Spice, I was scoping out her page. And her page was full of underground shows, underground concerts, her meeting with other upcoming rappers in the scene, New York. So it was like 2022, 2021-ish. I think a little bit of 2020, if I remember right now. But yeah. So yes, obviously she was putting in a little bit of work ethic. I mean, everybody has to work to get somewhere in life. But the drastic change from underground shows the year before to automatically getting like 50 million views on one of your trashiest songs, now that's tough. You know what I'm saying? And all the girls was trying to be like her, and the guys was obsessed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's an industry plant right there. Another prime example of industry plants that they love to give to black people is Tiffany Haddish. Now, I remember when I first saw Tiffany Haddish, she ain't do shit to me. I was cool with Tiffany Haddish. She was cool as hell. But Tiffany Haddish came up out of nowhere in 2017. Now, I never found her funny, even though she had cool moments like in Girls Trip. Girls Trip 2017. I mess with that movie. Regina Hall, Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett, Lorenz Tate. I mess with Girls Trip 2017. I remember when I was a kid watching that back in 2017. I enjoyed it. I actually thought that movie was cool. You know, my guy who played Luke Cage. You know what I'm saying? The girl. The girl that her husband was cheating on her with. Well, not Tiffany Haddish's husband, but Regina Hall husband. The girl that I found she was beautiful. Oh my gosh, she's in some other movies. But anyway, I mess with Girls Trip, and I mess with that silly, you know, they went to Louisiana, the clubs, the music that they were using in that movie. I mess with that movie. I mess with that era. Plus, it was 2017, so that was cool.
Just grapefruit them.
What?
Y'all ain't never grapefruited before?
So when I first saw Tiffany Haddish there, she didn't bother me. And she doesn't bother me, to be honest. I just ignore her. But she's a prime example. She's not even funny. She's just a loud black woman. So the stereotype that she's given is that she's just a loud black woman with all the eyes on her. So she's in TVs, she's in movies, she's in, celebrity shows, she's in, just she has the eyes on her. She hang out with other celebrities, she's on social media. So I haven't obviously seen her now, but at her time, 2017, 2018, 2019, like the late 2010s, she held that down. I remember earlier this year, I heard Lil Nas X got paralyzed. Now that's tough. You know what I'm saying? His face, he had face paralysis. I'm surprised that's all he got. You could probably call XXX and Juice World industry plants. I wouldn't even say that. I would just say that they were worshiping Satan at one point. And then they both decided they wanted to change their lives towards before they passed away. Then they just automatically just got unalived out of nowhere. That's how it works in the industry. When you don't work for Satan in the industry, he comes for you. I would just say they both had heavy, powerful influences on the youth. Now, like I said, in this video, I'm going to just continue to name some examples. You could even say Bad Baby was an industry plant. I was kind of hesitant to mention her because I might be wrong. But there were some points where I thought Bad Baby was an industry plant. I mean, again, people of color, young teenage girls. I'm talking like 16, 17, 18-year-olds. She was here in 2017. She was here in 2018. Then she started rapping. She dropped Gucci flip-flops with Lil Yachty. That's a banger. She was dropping stuff with Kodak. She was dropping stuff with NLE Choppa in 2018, 2019. Right? That was a golden era. So you could even say that she was kind of an industry plant too. Because she blew up from Dr. Phil. That's my guy. And she was very disrespectful to her mother. She was very disrespectful, very ratchet on TV. She got fame from that. And then she just had this persona where she needs to just this ghetto teenager. And then started to rap. Again, the stereotype that all people of color, all ghetto ratchet people have to start making music. That's what she did next, and then it just went from there on. And I messed with Bad Baby. Back when I was 13 years old, back in 2019, I thought she was very beautiful. I still think she's beautiful now. And guys, don't forget, Bad Baby did OnlyFans at one point. This is the scary thing. This made me think that the boys in our society, I'm not going to call them men, I'm going to call them boys, but the boys in our society had to be school shooters. Because as soon as Bad Baby turned 18 years old, she did an OnlyFans. And that means that so let me get into my next point. As soon as she turned 18, she did an OnlyFans, and she made $1 million in like the first half a day. It was like less than 12 hours. It was some shit like that. I don't remember. But I remember when I first found that out, I was like, holy shit. So a Bad Baby with millions of followers, millions of clout, doing numbers, got a lot of money. A lot of these teenage girls is looking up to her, so then they're going to maybe want to try OnlyFans. But the guys that subscribe to her can be from any age. So they waited as soon as she turned 18. She was born in the early 2000s. She's older than me by a few years. So I think she turned 18 in like 2021, I think, or 2020, 2021, or 2022. I don't remember. But that means that grown men were waiting. Or it could have been kids. I don't really know who bought her OnlyFans. But what I'm saying is, like, as soon as she turned 18, y'all were waiting for her. So when she was 17, y'all couldn't wait. Y'all were rubbing y'all hands. This is a scary world we live in. I told you this term, industry plant, where a person comes up out of nowhere. Now, I'm going to change the definition. I'm going to add a part 2 to the definition. You could even say you were in the industry for a set amount of years and then left, or not just leave, you stopped, then you come back different. So you could have been you could have got cloned, you could have, come back with a new agenda. Like, how Cardi did? Cardi disappeared, like Playboy Cardi. He disappeared for like a year, came back weird. Then after that, disappeared again, came back. Now he's the way he is now. So he disappeared in 2019. I mean, he was here in 2019. We have photos of him, right? But he didn't drop anything in 2019. Come back with blonde hair, dropped Atman, disappeared again, came back with red hair, whole lot of red, disappeared after that, came back like this, and then dropped I Am Music. So, well, of course he had some songs before I Am Music, but this era that I'm talking about. So you could, him, Uzi. I would even say Playboy Cardi and Lil Uzi Vert are industry plants. I would just say they have, again, heavy influence on the cult. They're just puppets to the puppet masters. They sold to Satan. Back to what I said earlier. You could leave the industry, come back. That is another form of an industry plant. So for example, Sam Smith. Sam Smith was here in 2014, 2015. He had banger music. Sam Smith in 2014 and 2015 was like the music that you play at a wedding, the music that you play when you're about to marry your spouse. He had beautiful music. Now, for me, I didn't see Sam Smith for a lot of years. And he came back in 2022 completely different. Gained weight, pushed a crazy agenda. He had music videos that was completely different than who he was. It was damn near like two different people. I want y'all to notice a common trend between all these industry plants. They all push an agenda extreme. The best word I could use is extreme. Something that you don't grow up seeing often. Megan and Cardi B. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. You could go as far to say that they're even industry plants too. I wouldn't even doubt that. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, again, women that are stereotyping black women, twerk, relationship problems, scandals, strippers, ratchet, twerking. I have to keep saying twerking because they always make it seem like black women can only twerk, can only get fame from being sexualized, can only get fame from OnlyFans type content. You get what I'm saying? And Megan Thee Stallion landed in the game in the end of 2018. And immediately her music was just ratchet. Now, like I said, I mess with Megan Thee Stallion. But right now, I just don't care about certain celebrities. But back in 2018, 2019, yeah, I mess with Megan Thee Stallion. You know, big old freak, big drank, cognac queen. Like, she had a lot of banger songs that I mess with. And she's beautiful. She's pretty. Same thing with Cardi B. I mess with Cardi B. I liked Cardi B a lot back in 2020, 19, 2018. I thought Cardi B was lit. I was like, Cardi B, you a lit friend. I even crushed on her a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I mess with Cardi B. I mess with both of these girls. But I have to be honest when I'm telling the truth. Both of these women are used to stereotype black women. Again, the only way that black women could get attention is from sexual content, from being loud, or from scandals. It's never authentic, beautiful stuff like how certain actresses are in the movie industry. Certain beautiful women in the movie industry could get fame from just playing a good role. They could act. Unlike these women right here, they use music to push this sexual agenda. It's always sex, it's always lust. They always use lust on women. The life of the beast. After Cardi B had dropped Bodak Yellow, she went skyrocket. I mean, she had songs before Bodak Yellow. Obviously, she had albums and mixtapes before Bodak Yellow. She was a stripper. I know Cardi B. I told you I know her. But Bodak Yellow went crazy. And then after Bodak Yellow, she dropped her one album in 2018. That album has stuff like I Like It, Drip with Migos. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I messed with that album. Be Careful with Me. Like, that album is a banger. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the songs on the album are number one hits. They're huge. In 2018, Cardi B blew up tremendously. And from there on, here she is right now. Something that I thought was pretty obvious that I didn't state in the video is that something that everyone that I'm naming in this video have in common is that they all have insane popularity. There's levels to popularity and there's levels to clout, but these people target specific groups, but they have insane popularity with it. Like, they're having hundreds of millions of views in the first week, millions and millions of album sales. Within that year, they land. Megan Thee Stallion, I already talked about her. She blew up tremendously in 2019. Well, she dropped one album in December 2018. That's the one with Big Ol' Freak and Cognac Queen. And then she dropped her second album in 2019. The one with Big Drink and the one with Cash It, the song that was in GTA 5. So they blew up decently fast. I mean, decently fast. Shoot, you could even say Glorilla is an industry plant. I'm telling you. You could see how people go to Hollywood and immediately change. Like, Glorilla was, again, a girl from the hood. She dropped a song in 2022. It started getting clout. But right after that, she just didn't feel authentic anymore. She just started feeling like an industry artist. Like, she just felt too washed off. Like, it didn't feel natural anymore. Like, before you get signed to a label, you could just see when the artist is trying to put in work to make a stand and be different and be themselves. That's how I felt with a lot of these artists that I named in this video. Everybody that I named in this video. And a lot of people who I just didn't name. That's why I love hip-hop. That's why I love music. I take the music shit serious because music is a way to advertise your moods and your creativity. But when you get these people who can be weaponized and used as puppets to target groups of teenagers, groups of people of color, people who can't really think for themselves. And I'm not gonna say they can't think for themselves like they ain't shit. What I mean is, like, people who look up to people easily, who look up to a higher authority. When you get these fake people who pretend that they care for us and then you make them push an agenda to grab all these groups of people, teenagers, kids, people of color, and then make it seem like you care, but you're slowly changing their way of thinking for the negative, I don't mess with that. Because everybody that I named in this video has something that is keyword stereotyping us, making us seem like we ain't shit. Respectfully. These people go to Hollywood and immediately change. It's not even funny. Now, last but not least, and I'm going to close out this video. This person obviously isn't black, but I damn near want to say Sabrina Carpenter is an industry plant too. And then I'm done. I'm sorry. I mess with Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter has songs from years ago. She has songs back in 2018, 2017, right? But now in 2025, she came back as this, again, stereotype to women that she has to be sexualized to get clout and attention. I'm gonna leave it right there. Every industry plant have something in common. So female industry plants, it's always something to do with lust. And for guys, it's either something that is emasculation or satanic. Again, everything that rolls against morals, everything that stands with Satan. Majority of industry plants came out of nowhere. Like, there's a lot of industry plants that I didn't even talk about. And to be honest, I chose these few because majority of industry plants came out of nowhere, but a lot of people that I know that I named in this video actually didn't really come out of nowhere. They were here, then they just flipped out of nowhere. So there's a point in time where it's just a new persona. 6ix9ine was the perfect industry plant for 5 months during COVID. 5 months during 2020 because he was a complete distraction. He had everybody's attention. Remember when he had went live on Instagram back in 2020 and had like 2 million views? He had everybody's attention because 2019 he had snitched. 2020 COVID had hit. I'm telling you, 2020 is the end of the world. Like, it was the end of the world. We are in a whole new planet right now, a whole new portal, whole new life. This dude, it comes out of nowhere, a complete distraction. While George Floyd was happening, while COVID was going down, stuff with the politics, stuff with ideology, he was just a complete distraction. He had everybody's attention. Hip hop community, the people of color community, people were at home, entertainers. Like, he literally had everybody's. He did his purpose. He distracted people for what, a year, 2 years? Not only just those 5 months in 2020, but he distracted so much people in 2020 and 2021 and then just disappeared. You haven't heard of 6ix9ine ever since. I'm telling you, every industry had a set of years and they all were in order. So like how I named earlier, first I mentioned Bad Baby, which is 2017, 2018. She targeted teenage girls. Then I mentioned Tiffany Haddish, which was the end of 2017, 2018, 2019. Again, targeting their image of black women, stereotypes, quotations. I got quotations up. Then it was Lil Nas X, 2019, 2020, 2021. Then 6ix9ine, okay? 2020, 2021. Then Ice Spice, 2022. Shit, you can even, like I said, you can mention Glorilla, 2022, 2023. Ice Spice, 2022, 2023. Then Sexy Red, 2023, 2024. And guess who it is now? Now, a lot of people don't like this person. That's why I was kind of hesitant to mention this person. But before I get into her, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, 2018, 2019, 2020, they're still here now. So they're like the most successful industry plants. They're the industry plants that's lasting this long. And to be honest, they could drop any year now. Or I mean, any year, any day now. But I'm just going to tell you, when certain celebrities are out the door and are forgotten about, a new one comes in, literally like a recycle. Like it's a loop. It's a loop. So just out of nowhere, someone's going to come in and step in. And now we have Sabrina Carpenter in 2025. But the person who's doing a lot now that has been catching a lot of backlash in 2025, like especially earlier this year, and I have even mentioned her in my other video. Now, I've been knew about this person before people were onto her now. I've been heard of her a few years ago. Doechii. Doechii is a prime example on what a new industry plant is that came into the loop. Like how I said earlier, I've been heard about Doechii. I heard about Doechii back in 2023, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want this to come off disrespectful. I don't want this to insult the 2 or 3 Doechii fans in this world. But I'm going to be very, very honest. Very, very honest. When I first saw Doechii, I didn't think that's I thought I was a boy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to be respectful because again, the point of an industry plant. She came into the scene, and her features are already different at that. But they were putting her in certain photo shoots. They were putting her in certain clothing. They were putting her in certain fits that made her seem different. And it was like, huh? Now, some people who are into that different look and that different aesthetic, people who like different crazy shit, they liked it. But for me, I didn't see that before. So I was like, what? But now in 2025, she's been on the headlight like crazy. So earlier this year, she said straight men are a red flag. I don't know why the hell she would say that shit, but she said that. And then, you've been hearing her songs. I ain't gonna lie. People been shitting on her songs. I mean, it is trash. Again, that's something in common that all these industry plants have. Music is terrible. Music is cheeks, buns, butt cheeks. You gotta notice that. A lot of people, they just blow up, get crazy clout. Their music videos is doing crazy numbers. They push a specific agenda, have no talent, then they get recycled in a year. So I really wonder who's coming next. And I already mentioned Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, she's doing a lot for the females. Doechie's doing a lot for the females. Megan Thee Stallion's doing a lot for the females. Cardi B's doing a lot for the females right now. I haven't really been seeing Sexy Red in a minute. I mean, all these celebrities I really don't follow. I don't really keep in touch with these celebrities. I don't really care. But I wonder who's going to come next, especially next year in 2026. Like, there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming. It's always about your consciousness. At the end of the day, every industry plant, it don't matter who they are or how they did it. They changed your course of thinking. They use style to grab your attention. Don't matter how they get it, but they do anything they need to grab your attention. Or they try to force something in your consciousness. So then at the end of the day, when you see certain industry plants, like whatever they have done and you watch what they do and you let what they do meditate on you, you're going to be a different person. You're going to start being curious for things that you never were curious for before. That's why ever since COVID, the 2020s is a whole different timeline. Like, you have to understand, this world we live in is not the same world as we lived in the 2010s. That's why the 2010s was perfect, because the 2010s was the best type of modern day. Now in the 2020s, what? So when you watch and meditate on what these industry plants have done, it starts to change your consciousness. You're going to start being curious for things you never were curious for. You're going to start having interest in things that you never had interest for. Portals in your brain start to be open to new shit. You're acceptable for new shit. I hope y'all know that. So they have certain industry plans to target teenagers, target people of color, target black teens, target girls. You have these women, these female artists that target girls with sex. You have these male artists that target men with emasculation, teenage boys with emasculation. Bro, and that's not it though. That's not even it. That's just me naming two out of the bunch. There's thousands. You get what I'm saying? You have distractions like I named earlier. You have, I can't. I'm trying to keep this video short. This shit about to be 30 minutes. To be honest, if I keep talking, this shit could be 2, 3, 4 hours. Doing a whole analysis on every type of industry plant. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it right now as we speak, because it's kind of sad. It really is kind of sad, A lot of people don't see this. So the point of this video is to be enlightenment, no hate, no disrespect. A lot of people get sensitive for certain things. That's not the plan. That's not the point behind this. What's my point of getting you upset? Hell no, that's not no purpose. Getting people upset ain't no purpose. You just in the way. This is just to make you think. That's all I'm here to do, make you think. Because the damage has already been done, The damage has already been done. So me making this video is just a look back in time. This is the shit that just makes me miss life before COVID. This video got me thinking again. I'm stuttering. Everybody that I named in this video, I have no problem with. To be honest, everybody that I named in this video, I liked at one moment in life. Lil Nas X, that was my guy. When he did the Old Town Road, I thought it was a white boy who did it. When we first found out he was black, I was like, what? That was my guy. Then Cardi B, I mess with Cardi B a lot. I like Cardi B back in 2018. Megan Thee Stallion, when Megan Thee Stallion dropped Big Old Freak, that instrumental is beautiful. I'm cool with everybody that I named on this list. When I first heard Sam Smith 10 years ago, back in 2014, 2015, he has wedding music. He had his music remind me of Ed Sheeran. Like his music was beautiful. I like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody that I named on this list, I had a moment with them, but I watched him change. It's like, oh my God. Cause the crazy thing about Lil Nas X, right, is that he's black. And he had a lit swag with the cowboy aesthetic. And a lot of girls liked him. But he flipped in 2020, bro. And that is what made it dark and satanic. It just turned too much. Like, if he just stayed how he was in 2019, that aesthetic, I mean, people would have gotten over him. But now everybody just completely just don't care about him. Now it's just like, what? But, yo, that was my guy back in 2019, like May 2019, June 2019, when like Dark Phoenix came out, right after Avengers Endgame came out, Terminator Dark Fate trailer came out, Xbox One days, Modern Warfare was about to be announced, like that whole lit aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Soul Naughty had dreads, Cardi was getting leaked. This nigga Cardi was getting leaked every week. I'm just thinking about it all again. Like, the dude was normal. You know what I'm saying? And they took him the hardest because his audience was literal kids. Lil Nas X's audience was literal children. I remember because he even had middle schoolers. I was in middle school in 2019. He had us. But I saw when shit got weird. Some kids can't see it. So they see what he's going with. Yeah, they might laugh, but they're going to get it. They're going to get an interest. Remember, kids are easily to fold. Kids are innocent. Kids are always innocent, but they are easy to fold. So he targeted kids like a predator. He's like a predator. I can't say the other word I want to say, but he's like a predator. He turned from this lit icon you look up to now you grabbing kids. That sound like I can't say it, but a minor lover, you know what I'm saying? So it just flipped. And that's tough. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. What? 2019, you looking back, 2019 set the standard for a lot of shit that's going on now. But 2019 was still the last good year. That year was like an 8 out of 10. Every year now, say goodbye. The damage is done because of 2020, because of COVID. So Hollywood, y'all tweaking. Girls Trip 2 should have came out in 2019. What? That would have been fire. It should have came out sometime during the summer. I don't really know. But it should have been 2019. It's too late now. Now it's just gonna be filled with woke left agendas and stereotypes. But in 2019, yeah, that would have fit. That type of movie kind of deserved a stupid, funny, silly sequel like The Hangovers and like Horrible Bosses. But it's too late now. It's way too late now. Nah.